see.
We're gonna start it.
Let's say if you guys can dance.
Can they see us now? Can they hear us?
Come on, guys, let's dance.
I'm not a great dancer.
Okay.
Yeah, it's good song.
All right, one more episode here. Thank you guys for coming. Hey, Bip, how are you? How are you guys?
Good. How are you?
Good. Thanks for having us.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you, no problem. So, I have to say, I saw the movie, and amazing. I'm still impressed by details, makeups, etc.
You should say they just had a premiere of their new film, Isleen Pines.
There we go. You can kickstart, man. Do your intro as well, and you can introduce your friends to Manada audience.
Yes, I mean, is that for Bip? I wanted to.
It was for Bip. Bip was like, I don't know. Maybe Bip
felt-
didn't understand what I said. So
I thought you were saying to introduce that they
I know.
were going to introduce themselves.
no, I ask you to
Oh, sorry.
do it. Do the job, man.
Hello, podcast listeners. I am Bip Henderson, and I am in a band with your host, Wagner Rosati, called 8-Bit Banjo.
Very
And
nice.
we were on the soundtrack of a new film called Isleen Pines, and these are the directors.
Very welcome.
Thank you.
Thanks for being a part of it too.
Absolutely.
Yeah, thank you. It's a great soundtrack. I love the soundtrack.
The soundtrack is the glue. I think it really is what kind of keeps
That's
it
something.
moving. You know,
That's something.
especially there's no score really, so it's really run by the soundtrack more than leaning on like a motif or a cue to kind of come back and back and back. It really doesn't have that at all. So,
And you were influenced by Idle Hands, right?
Yeah, that was definitely one. A lot of different, usually like 90s, early 2000s.
yeah, a lot of 90s horror comedy, just in general. And then again, with budget limitations, kind of lean into the specific locations, that the stories are taking place. That way you sort of can just shoot it in blocks, of like, we're shooting at this location for a week or closer to 2 weeks. And then that way it's a little more feasible to kind of, I think, do in general too. Because it was more ambitious, I feel like, than our other ones.
Yeah.
Oh, was it shot over like a long period of time?
It was pretty much over like a kind of like a month about.
Okay.
We did like the fundraiser, and then we pretty much had like 3 weeks after we had the money from that to like get everything ready.
Which was not as much time as we really should have, I think, had.
Yeah, it's just
for that part of pre-production.
Yeah, we just we kind of went and that's with going back to like the bands and the soundtrack and stuff. We wanted to work with more indie musicians and stuff because that's kind of the indie, do it yourself aspect, because that's kind of how we went with Isleen.
Did you guys know the band that is part of the soundtrack before? How was the process of selecting the bands to be part of the movie?
Yeah, so a lot of it came from basically when it was sort of a big mishmash of inspirations, I would say, of the types of music we listened to, and then having various people like yourselves from all over the map that are like, I've wanted to work with Bip for a while. We've sort of worked together through the internet on like basically like YouTube-y kind of stuff through the Facebook group that we met. And through that, though, it's like, Bip has shared some of the films he's made, and we've sort of bounced things back and forth. And it's like, I really want to work, with you. There's just a lot of water between us. And then it's like, so how can we do that in a way? And it was like, well, he's a super talented musician. He has a band. Like, there were all these little things like that. And so through that as well, Roman was another musician we met out here, who has an old punk German band that he's had recordings of that he wanted to, put to use as well. And we, sort of through that, I feel like started to kind of find our people,
And then Matt,
the DP.
Yeah, DP and the other part of Three Keys. He worked with the guitarist of a band, the band that plays Gina and Georgette and the Monarchs. So he worked with him.
They've known each other a long time. Yeah, and he's Frankie De La Torre and Gina. Obviously, they're in that band. That they have that band, which is like an LA local band. And Matt has kept up with them as well as Frankie's other band. So it was just through that that they were actually out. Yeah.
Sorry.
Did you have any bands playing at your premiere?
That would have been cool.
Awesome. That would have been so cool. We did not.
No.
Question.
They had the theater afterwards, pretty much timing wise, had a Halloween party. So they had karaoke there. So people sang karaoke.
Oh, that's cool. That's nice, actually.
Yeah, it was
especially because there was karaoke in the film, wasn't there? Was there karaoke? I feel like there was.
Kind of, in a way, hints at that.
Yeah,
I would say.
We were gonna have some different stuff at the party, but with time and everything, we were gonna have judges and we were gonna have a projector, but we didn't have the budget for a projector. And then
we were gonna have, it was gonna be there's storyboards too, that we're gonna have a storyboard cut on the Blu-ray and DVD that'll be basically like a side-by-side, like what the storyboards look like to what the shots came out as. And there's going to be storyboards in there that will have the projector. But again, that didn't make it into the film. But there's those things that you can kind of see then of what some of our intentions were for things that maybe didn't fully happen, or the way we would have if we had a bigger budget or something.
Yeah, and everything changes after you get there, after you actually have the location and everything. Then you're like, okay, what can we actually practically do?
12 hours, yeah.
And in 12 hours.
Yeah. Who is the storyboard artist?
A little combo.
Yeah, it was both of us. I did more of the.
You can tell
effects.
You did the good ones. You can tell the good ones from the bad ones. So when you see it, there's certain ones that are stick figures, and then there's certain ones where there was a lot more, detail put into things, and you're like, okay.
You can tell when we were starting to rush, and there's just outlines and just.
Yeah, there was great special effects in the film by Alexys.
Thanks. There was we luckily had a good team too, but that was awesome.
It was a big undertaking. There was a lot in this one, more than our other films, and so she had a lot to do. There was
3 weeks.
It was and I mean the time to make all of that stuff in that short amount of time, I can't stress enough, is really not enough time.
Yeah, that's very quick.
Lesson learned to all of us on the pre-production, especially myself, was we need to really, and it's not that those effects don't hit. We, you nailed it, as well as the team of Oliver and everybody else. But I'll let you kind of.
We did have because the party stuff we added, obviously with we wanted to do the fast kills and stuff with the cool outro song. And so with those, I was like, I do not have time for any of this. I cannot do any of these kills. I need help. So I asked Oliver Poser, who I work with a lot with special effects, and he helped with the credit kills and stuff. So we
cool.
Those. Yeah, and that was awesome. And he also plays the Hula Girl in it as well.
Yeah,
I was wondering about something. How many liters of blood did you got? Fake blood did you guys spend?
That's
Right.
really
it is a good question. There's definitely a lot,
Well,
and
we had alien blood and regular blood too. So we had like purple blood, which is what
Alright.
like is the end. Sorry, we're cool with spoilers too. We're all about it. So but the last, like with the alien decapitation, they get sprayed with purple blood. So it was probably, and I had a 5-gallon thing that wasn't
Gotcha.
completely full. It was probably like 3 gallons, and then Oliver, he brought blood, probably like 2 or 3 gallons.
And then there was
Sorry,
also
I didn't think about this
the whole
before.
ending, because there were the house kills as well as the party kills too.
It was probably
It was a good amount.
10 to 15.
But again,
And
too, Oliver's the type that like he'll go.
Oh,
Like if you tell him like,
you
yo,
should tell.
this is gonna be blood spray, he's just gonna do it until he can maybe hear you say cut. So it was when we did one of the front yard kill when they're trying to first leave. The 3 friends aren't leaving, and they just get drenched. The two characters. He just was going like, and it was the funniest thing ever because, for better or worse, like he maybe couldn't hear us, or maybe he could, and
He was
just
like right
having
next
fun.
to the
But
fire.
it was like they were just getting drenched, and like we're like cut, and he's just like smiling and just smiling, and like everybody's just getting straight. Yeah, it was. Those were fun days. It was cold though, so I feel for the talent in that regard. Was like late at night, end of the night, was when you usually do effects, of course, and you're trying to rush, of course, and they're just drenched, freezing.
Yeah, they did it really. We did it so fast too.
Yeah, towels and
with that one, you really only have one take to blast them clean.
So you didn't have to reset anything from the beginning.
Yeah, and we kind of leaned into that. Like, obviously, like that much blood. Like,
it's over the top.
Yeah, we wanted to idle hand that inspiration.
Nice. So it didn't make you want to go like David Fincher and use all CGI blood like he did in Zodiac?
We definitely not. That's why we were like, we need Oliver.
We always want to try to do it practically if we can, of course. And it's hard with budgets, though, you know what I mean? But like you do see people blend them, and that sometimes is really cool to see, like a mixture of practical and a little bit of digital.
Yeah.
But this one we went all practical as much as everything was possible, puppeteering, all of that. So
yeah, I definitely recommend Isleen Pines to everybody out there that likes old 80s horror. I feel like with the practical effects, it's really nice to see. And not to mention, like, this was a low budget film. If this was low budget CGI effects, it would look like shit. But it's low budget practical effects, and it looks better than Marvel CGI because the CGI still looks like garbage, even if it's the fucking most expensive CGI out there. So it looks so much better, the real stuff, because it's like, oh, that's there. It's casting shadows. It's reflecting light. You can tell it's not like a
Yeah.
No, appreciate that.
Yeah, doesn't matter how good it looks when it's CGI. Like to me, I understand that. Okay, it's a CGI. I can see. Doesn't matter how good it is. I can see. So that's the problem. They try to pretend to be real, but it's never real. So sometimes it's better to do organically, like you guys do, because it feels more close to reality, I think.
Cool. Thank you. Yeah, it's tough. Like the human eye, always like, even I feel like, and it's not a criticism of like CGI or video games, but it's more of like the human eye can just tell when something isn't 100. Like now with AI, people will do those deep fakes, and it's like you can tell there is something just a little off about it, and it's not real.
Yeah.
So it's always something to strive to, is just to try to do it practically, like you said, like the old 80s films.
Totally.
Yeah, it's great, and you definitely had a in influence from Alien on this. You can tell.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's kind of that the first kill was what we wrote the movie essentially about, because we were like, oh, we're just trying to come up with a really gnarly kill, and we were like, we'll do it as a short, and then we're like, no, let's do a feature, and then
Yeah,
slowly.
fleshed it out a bit. It changed a lot. I mean, we've talked about that a bit, but it was a very different script at one point. But that part of it was always kind of the big inciting incident to sort of like the oh shit moment, where
And did you both write the film?
Yeah.
yeah, we wrote it
Okay.
together over probably the last like 5 or 6 years, I would say.
Yeah, we wrote the outline together. Obviously, it's like too hard to like completely write. But yeah, we have. I think it was like 8 drafts of it. It was a lot.
Yeah, it was like 8 or 9 by the time we shot it.
Oh yeah, it was 9.
Yeah.
How is the process of writing a story together? Like, if let's say you have an idea and you show her your idea, and let's say you don't agree, how you guys work with that? Like, oh, I don't like that. Are you guys like very honest about that?
Yeah, we are.
Yeah.
I mean, like she's usually pretty honest. Like that doesn't work. This is
Okay.
not going to land for everybody. Do you want to do it?
Yeah.
Like these types of
Brainstorm.
things. Very
Yeah.
very collaborative, though.
Very cool.
Yeah, we try to like. We both were very similar. Like we have a lot of very similar interests and everything, but we also kind of approach things differently, especially with stories.
Yeah.
So I think we kind of check.
Good combination. Like having you both discussing.
Yeah, I mean, thank you. I mean, we're right now we're talking about a different project that we're hoping to start really writing soon. That's been on our minds for years now, and we were talking about it the other day driving, and it was just a little creative thing that was different, and you questioned it, and then in my head I was like, yeah, that's what, yeah, like that makes sense. Why would I not think that, or like be okay with that, you know? And so it's sort of just like understanding that
it's good to have a partner that you can share your ideas and they don't think you're crazy. You know, they just support you.
Yeah, that's
exactly.
It's such like a like making any kind of art so personal and stuff. So being able to share it and like have someone like be very like receptive and like, oh yeah, that would be cool, or like, what if we do this? Like, it's a lot of fun. Like, yeah, definitely makes it.
It's a brainstorm process, isn't it? Like, it's like creation.
Yeah, I mean, Isleen was like, dude, there was very different characters even at a point in time in the earlier drafts. Like there were more characters. There was sort of all sorts of other characters that are definitely not in the final version of this movie or even the final script. By version 3 or so, most of those were dropped. Like the main characters, even like in the house at the pregame, if you will, they were even different, all different costumes and such. But they have all kind of found where they were supposed to be and what they were supposed to be. So we're hoping to do like auditions and stuff on the bonus features if we can, of some of the actors and stuff. But
was that for any practical reasons? Like, did you just have these certain costumes already in your?
It kind of actually a little bit, because we wanted the witch to be more like a Morrigan type with like suit of armor and like a sword. That way she could actually like cut off the head. And then we were like, we can't afford all that.
Yeah.
And then we went more like classic costumes. Like the ghost was going to be like an invisible man, and he was going to like unwrap. It was going to be like, yeah. So we went more what was easier just to throw over a witchy rather than get glass.
Like zombie, we were going to have prosthetics at one point, and then it was like, we're like, well, that's prosthetics for a principal cast member for 7+ days of production. It's 7 different prosthetics or whatever every day of set, you know, and that's time, that's money. But again, you approached it in a classical, traditional way, and I think it was fun that it sort of was that face paint zombie, and it looked cool though.
Yeah, they did we had a whole like makeup team. We had Sky Redfeather was like our key makeup artist, and Krista Llewellyn, sorry,
and then Jordan Maresh
and Jordan Maresh were all helping. And some days like there was some stuff that happened, so those makeups have like evolved, but it was cool because they definitely nailed those. And I think with the zombie, they like nailed like kind of what we were talking about and stuff too. And that was tough because having like a whole movie take place in one night, continuity was a challenge, and we didn't have a scripty, so we were all doing
just nuts. It was nuts. We got to a point where we knew that there were certain lost causes, right? That as a film, and an indie film especially, there's just certain things that are going to be hard, right? And
the blood
against us.
Yeah.
And well, to go off of the location, the first thing that did it for us was like we planned out. We wanted to, we wanted continuity as solid as can be. So we planned, of course, the party stuff is all going to be filmed last because all the dialogue there is taking place throughout the night. So there's no blood continuity or anything crazy happening. But it's the whole ending of the witch gets there at the end of the movie. Sorry, spoilers. We talked about this, but like, she's gone through all of this stuff, the whole film, and then gets there at the end. So there is so much continuity there. And so we, of course, planned it like, okay, the banquet hall is last. We're filming all that stuff last. It'll be a great way to get into like an after party of the film. And we go location scouting. They're cool with everything. And then, of course, comes time to like book. Yeah, that's good. That date's fine. Then we go to book. And then they're like, no, that date's not okay. So we're going to push it up. We could go 2 weeks earlier. And we're like, well, 2 weeks earlier is before we start anything else. So we literally started with the end, all that stuff. And so it was tough. It was tough.
Yeah, Nahia, the lead that plays, or one of the leads that plays the witch, she was there the last day of all the party stuff too. So it was very fun, but it was very
hard.
Yeah, difficult.
Yeah, she was a great actress. What's her name?
Nahia.
Nahia Lajoie. Yeah, she's great. She's in. We met her through Alan Maxon and Brooks Davis on Alien Planet, right? Mm-hmm. And that was it's a really cool one too to check out. Great theme and message for an indie sci-fi movie made by a very, very talented person, Alan Maxon, who's
our alien.
He's our alien. Yeah, he was the monster in Shadow Marsh, and he's also the alien in Isleen Pines. And he's been in some really cool films over the years, but he's also a director, and he's made some really cool films. And Alien Planet was a great experience. I feel like we were on that one. That's how we met Nahia.
Yeah, she was the Gyrie puppeteer. Yeah. So there's like an alien cat in the movie, and she was always like in really uncomfortable positions and doing this
in a
like
green suit, for chroma key.
Yeah, laying next to it like a dead bird outside, like this crazy
practical puppet though, which was cool.
Oh yeah,
and
yeah.
So that was a mix of that digital practical thing.
And she did a great job. No complaints. Like had the awesome. She's just like would recommend. She was just an awesome person. So we were like, if you're interested, and when she auditioned, she
got it.
Yeah.
She just understood it, and I told Alexys, this is going back, but during Alien Planet, I was already like a fan because I saw Brooks Davis's film Ginger Weed Man for Full Moon Features, which is a super funny like stoner comedy, and she's one of the leads in that, and that was the first time I saw her, and I was like, oh, she's funny, like she has a good like sense of humor and timing with all that, but also you could tell has the serious dramatic chops as well. And like Alexys said, she just killed it.
Having to act your first day, like all your friends died, and sorry, spoiler again.
Yeah, and then you're starting at the end, and then we go back to the beginning. So it was tough, but it was still nailed it.
Yeah, we got really lucky with the cast. They knew Like, especially with how fast we had to move, they knew everything.
Yeah, the casting was great for the film. Who's the guy from Saw 2?
Oh yeah, I think Glenn Plummer.
Yeah, that was really
Yeah, he's a great actor.
Yeah, he was super cool because it was a different role for him. That kind of character was not, it's not a monologue kind of role. It's much more in the feeling and sort of the visual, right, of what they're possibly going through. A lot of it's implied. Mm-hmm. So we sort of just kind of, certain things are kind of open a little bit.
Yeah, that was, we tried to, budget-wise, that's kind of why it's like 3 stories, that way, because it's too difficult.
Yeah.
In our heads, we would have had Glenn also show up to the party.
At the end, at the very end.
Yeah.
Which would have been cool.
It was budgetary why he didn't, was it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But if there ever is we've talked about doing like a comic book sequel, prequel kind of thing. If the money was possible, we have really crazy ideas for a sequel, but it's tough, it's not something you ever want to like think that's going to happen because it's just.
You need a budget.
Yeah. Well, we talked about a comic or anime.
What about does Charlie Band have any budget for that?
we do a split with Full Moon. We make this a semi Full Moon feature.
Or Shudder. You should go to Shudder. Shudder might be interested.
Oh, we love Shudder. Yeah, Shudder's awesome. They have some great content there. Originals, acquired stuff. They get amazing cult stuff and foreign films that otherwise I probably would have never heard of, honestly.
Yeah, I was watching a bunch of Japanese movies from the 60s on there, and they're amazing. It's amazing like Japanese people are known for having great appreciation of photography. But it is, when you watch that movie, I forget what it was called. I was watching a movie from 1968. And the lighting and the camera, it looked like a film shot in America in the 90s. They were 30 years ahead cinematically, I think.
That's so cool.
Well, I mean, they had Kurosawa, who is one of the greatest directors of all time, and he was around starting in the 40s or something.
Right, and he made quite a number of films too.
Yeah, but he's one of the best, and I don't know who his cinematographer was, but just the framing in his films is beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, was Seven Samurai is obviously like been basically remade all the time, and Americanized, since.
Yeah, most of his films were remade. Yeah, as westerns. Yeah, The Seven Samurai was Magnificent Seven, of course, and Yojimbo was remade. I think that was that High Plains Drifter. I've seen all those movies of Clint Eastwood, but like the names never are actually like have any tie into the movie whatsoever. They just seem like they randomly chose a title. So it's like I always mix up the names for those movies.
Definitely. Yeah, because I think even I know Snyder is doing that new thing for Netflix that was going to be his Star Wars movie, basically, that then he reworked it to be his own. But I'm fairly certain it's still super heavily influenced by Seven Samurai. Like, it's basically, from what it sounds like, a modern sci-fi version of that. So
and then the main sci-fi samurai is going to be called Joda.
Yeah, exactly.
Is there any
sky marker?
Is there any specific while you guys movies you guys like? Is the same taste for movies, or are you guys more like
similar
horror movies or different styles?
Well, you definitely have like a lot more about like action, and that's definitely more action movies variety.
Yeah, I do.
But we're pretty similar, like with horror movies and stuff.
Yeah, we like a lot of horror and sci-fi.
Mm-hmm. And just finding weird stuff, which I'm sure you guys are.
Yeah, like
Me
we're
too.
big indie fans, like which is funny
Yeah.
because people talk about like horror and sci-fi and action and comedy, and then like indie is sort of like become its own little circle and little community of work that like since moving out west we've sort of found this like indie horror community that's like in the US, but it's also pretty much like in Europe as well, and it seems like it's a lot of people that are just trying to make low budget horror films. And
Yeah, there's a lot of indie horror everywhere because that's kind of like a film you can make cheap and also but good is like a well written or well thought out. Like
yeah,
I met Lee Cronin during the summer,
right.
who's he started as an indie horror filmmaker here, and then he just directed the new Evil Dead movie last year.
That was a good one.
So, and he started out as indie. So if you have a good indie movie and it hits, you do get offers from the
Yeah, you
studios.
never know. I mean, there's exactly it's very possible, especially with the various markets now and some of the bigger film festivals. They still are buying movies. That happens. It's just not as not like it once was, and it's not as physical DVD deals like they once were in the 2000s. But it's definitely possible.
Yeah, there's definitely like more, and that's what's cool with like indie is that trying to keep like physical media and like all that, and just like that community too.
Yeah, it's like Best Buy and Walmart are going to stop selling DVDs and Blu-rays and all that, and then it's like, oh man.
I think they need to come up with a better system. VHS, as much as Matt and I are both huge On Cinema fans, if anyone knows On Cinema, like Greg Turkington on there is a VHS fetishist. And are you a fan of On Cinema, Alexis?
Yeah, definitely. I knew more like Tim and Eric stuff, and then after we started dating, I definitely have seen the last like 10 years.
Yeah, pretty much all of it.
Yeah.
But this is the problem, I think, for like music. Vinyl has made a huge comeback for people who are, still on a physical media, but like vinyl is vinyl's great. They last forever and the quality's good. Whereas they fucked up with in the movies because they went from VHS, which was like, okay, as Quentin Tarantino says, the closest thing to actually watching at the cinema because it is
it's an actual tape,
actual moving images.
Yeah.
And then it went to digital, and then it just piracy became too easy when it went to digital. But I think that there would be a great comeback of a physical media if you took VHS type of technology, but put it up to 4K. If you could come up with like a physical media of a VHS that plays 4K, I think that would fucking be a huge draw to go back to physical media.
Let's make it happen, Biff.
Is that possible? I'm wondering.
I'm sure it is.
That would be cool for sure.
Awesome.
Because like a VHS is indestructible. Like it's a great it was a great thing they made. And then they did DVD, and I have DVDs that are 20 years old and they don't work anymore. Like they get DVD rot or all this shit. Like they weren't designed to last, Whereas VHS, they last forever. But the only problem is the quality limitations on them.
Yeah, I agree. You got me going now. I love.
We have to go talk to an engineer to come up with this 4K VHS.
Are you guys missing? Are you guys missing to rewind?
Even HD would be great. Not 4K.
Yeah.
Even if it was just HD on a tape, I would be fine with that. Definitely. Let's figure that out.
I think you must be able to because people use VHS to store data. So if you just had it as, I guess it would lose its charm of actually being the moving image in that case. But it definitely seems like you could, anyways, as like a data storage.
Let's think about it and make a startup about it.
It's like-
And are you and is Isleen Pines? Are you? When will that be released on physical media?
Very soon.
yeah.
We're actually working on pretty much all of the mastering of the files now. Um, the film itself runs 83 minutes. From the version you guys saw, nothing's changed. I tweaked a couple tiny little things with audio, and we recolored a couple shots. It's really small, nothing editorial changed in the movie. So we're just finalizing all of that, as well as bonus features. So we're putting together all of that stuff, which has been taking me more time than I originally anticipated. But we do want to actually have some cool features. Because, again, talk about physical media, that's one of the, I feel like, benefits that it has that streaming doesn't, is that you want to go put up your bonus features, you got to go put them up on like YouTube or somewhere else, and like put them up yourself, or as someone buys the Blu-ray or DVD, it's like they can literally like own these extras that they might enjoy a lot, or
Yeah.
even check out, which is fine.
And that's what got us into movie stuff. I know that if there was a special effect like bonus feature, I was watching it. Like if it was on a movie. So
is there going to be a special effect bonus feature?
I didn't record it. Unfortunately, I didn't record a lot of the process, but
there's definitely some behind the scenes of things we can pull that we're trying to do right now. So
yeah, and just oh, sorry.
Sorry, no worries. No, I was gonna ask, what's the plans after you guys have the movie ready for sharing advertising? Is there any marketing plan?
That's the big one. Is realistically, it won't be on streaming until next Halloween. So
right.
the first year is we're really going to be trying to push physical media, or the first 6 months, I should say, to really try to just again find the people that are into these kinds of films, and again collecting DVDs and Blu-rays still, because they're out there. I'm one of them. I know there's many others, and there's just something. Nolan, all these filmmakers are talking about this stuff now too, because it's a little bit true. Del Toro and Nolan were both talking about why owning a copy is important. I'm not going to say I'm going to use them as my marketing tactics, but there's definitely some validity to things can disappear on streamers in a year or whenever.
It's so frustrating. I had on Amazon Prime, I had a bunch of stuff that was saved for later. And then even when they take it away, they keep it in there. So then I was I spent 10 minutes going through my saved movies list. I'm like, all right, I picked one. And then it's this is no longer available. This title no longer available.
Yeah, because it's just that's upsetting, especially in the new era of filmmaking. You have all of these streaming originals now. So HBO Max originals, Netflix originals. And so these movies that are going straight to digital only, and they never have a DVD or Blu-ray up front. Willow on Disney Plus, they took that down apparently, the new series.
Oh, did they?
So now people are saying, so what does that mean? You know what I mean? Is it going to become now Disney just is they can dangle this over our head? Well, every June
it's gone into the Disney vault.
Yeah, and it's just that's, to me, man, that's a big enough reason as to why I want to keep supporting movies that I can on physical media.
Yeah, that was the cool thing about the Weird Al movie, how he was really pushing Roku to put that out. It's cool to see more and more people being open about it, but it's also tough because we're also not trying to create waste, but also
it's tough.
Yeah, that weird.
Because you are creating all this plastic and stuff, and it's one of those.
It's art though. And
true, I do. That is I think a good enough reason. Honestly, it is art.
And it is out there, like you said, it could be taken away on digital so quick.
It's true. Yeah.
Totally.
We also are. We just started, so we don't have official ones, but we're also talking to theaters like across at least the U.S. for now to get there.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, we'll try different fests and stuff too.
I remember, Matt, you were telling me, like, this was, I think, pre-pandemic, so everything fucking went crazy and changed. But you were talking about taking your movies on kind of like a road show. That sounded really cool.
That was our hope, man. And unfortunately, yeah, you called my bluff because we haven't been able to.
Well,
No, but
we went to Texas last year, but that was kind of
last February.
It was last February.
Yeah, we went to a convention in Texas, Three Keys. It was ourselves and Matt Leal, and we drove there to Texas from California, which was pretty fun. Spent the weekend. That was the opening weekend of us releasing Shadow Marsh for the first time, and we also had Hacked and another release of our older one that we were carrying as well. There
is Jackson. What's that actor's name? Jackson.
Jackson
Turner. Yeah, he's a really good actor as well.
Yeah, he's a really good old friend of mine that we've worked together a lot over the years on various creative things. And, Isleen was written about a lot of our friends and groups kind of in our crowds we were around growing up. And so Jackson fit really well because he was one of those people. Yeah. So it was like casting him worked. And yeah, he knew it the way we kind of wanted that character. And he was just a lot of fun to work with, like always. He's a good guy.
Yes. Oh, sorry.
Nice.
Oh no, I was just gonna. Where are you both from again?
Oh,
originally.
I'm from Fort Wayne, Indiana.
Yeah, and I'm from Chicago, Illinois, and then now we both live in Los Angeles right now. So, yeah, we and Jackson, he lives in Chicago, so he came out for the production of Isleen and everything. But yeah, it was I don't know, it was a fun experience, and I think next year, like in terms of like what Wagner was asking with marketing, we really want to try our efforts more with different social media marketing, only because as Three Keys, we're a fairly young company that doesn't have a ton of experience. We don't have a ton of movies out. We have a lot to learn, with marketing and kind of getting the word out. So we're definitely going to be doing a lot with having the trailer and the phone, aspect ratio, giving direct links to where you can watch it instantly versus buying it, all those kinds of things, and really trying to, get more press releases on the film, people talking about it, more reviews from horror sites just in general, and really try to get the word out. And like that's why, again, we're really grateful that you invited us to talk about the movie with you guys here, because this is like obviously the first step in doing that.
Yeah, this is the first time we've like talked.
There's a lot of podcasts.
Yeah, are you guys sharing your work to other communities outside the U.S., like other horror comedy movies from another niche in Germany or something like that?
See, that's on the list that we need to work on doing with this film, because we haven't in the past been really good about that. So, and we have friends though that are from there, you guys living in other countries, like it's definitely possible. And I think if we kind of just like implement it more and have a plan for it, we can.
Cool.
Yeah, put it in the film festival circuit.
Yeah.
Right. And that's definitely part of it. And some fests I know will be, they won't accept certain movies that have already premiered or screened or played other places, but it's definitely can't hurt to like go for it,
Yeah, well, you're definitely a genre film, so it's
right.
Certain festivals will be interested for sure.
Oh yeah, for sure. Just do some Google research.
Right, Film Freeway.
You're talking about the social media. Social media advertising has become such a nightmare because the algorithms, like, it just changes all the time. It gets worse all the time without paying. I went to what is it called? it was like it was Irish Film Network put on this thing for talking about online marketing, and they were basically saying they'd want to spend 40 grand minimum on social media advertising because that's how much you have to pay to get people to actually see things. But then again, like think about when you're scrolling through Instagram and it's an ad, you just hate that ad. Like,
Yeah,
I don't know how good it is. Like I think it's like we have to think of innovative ways for advertising, you know? Like Smile did a very good job. Do you remember that Smile?
yep. On the baseball games and stuff.
They
with
went
the
to a
people
baseball game, yeah.
behind the pitcher, behind the yeah.
Yeah, because that was basically free advertising.
Yep. Super smart. Yeah, you're right though. It's tough with social media right now because there's so many. Like you said, the algorithm is changing always. That's got.
Yeah, I think it's too expensive. Like what you get out of it, I don't think it's
yeah,
it's worth it.
Yeah, it's tough. We'll have to see because we've got a couple of friends. We have one friend he does a lot with YouTube and filmmaking in general and social media. His name's Jay Horton, and he directed the movie Craving, which is out right now. It's a cool kind of horror monster creature movie.
Oh yeah, yeah. I was going to say if you want to see good.
Is there available to watch? Where can we find?
Yeah, that's on Tubi, Amazon. I think it's on. I want to say it's on DVD or Blu-ray, or it's coming very soon on DVD and Blu-ray.
I was just gonna say good practical and digital effects too, especially for an indie movie. The digital effects are really
they
good.
do really good practical monster in it with kills and everything, and they also do, like you said, they do really good de-aging. That I feel
as good as The Irishman.
Better,
yeah.
Honestly, I'm not kidding, dude. Like
The Irishman is so bad.
I know it's such a bummer when you see that on that level where they have money to spend, and it looks like that. Like even I won't go. I'm not here to rag on movies, but like there was another like when you talking about Marvel earlier. Some of the de-aging in the Marvel movies looks really not great in my opinion.
Yeah.
And I know that it's not the artist's fault. It's really deadlines and they're not being paid enough to be over the way that they're overworked usually with those deadlines. But it's like, it's crazy when you see those examples of these sometimes $100 million movies that, you know, the de-aging looks like a bobblehead or something. And then you see this indie film and this indie film looks amazing. And so, you know, props to them. They did a really good job on that movie. And but Jay Horton, to bring it back, he did, or he has a YouTube channel where he talks all about basically being an independent filmmaker from pre-production, production, post to putting the movie out to the world. And he's even gone into great detail about different social media things that he's done for marketing. And some of it, like, he's very transparent, like what works and what doesn't for him. And so, like you said, there's definitely those like trials and tribulations of it.
I have a good one for you. Maybe I won't spoil it on this. Maybe I should tell you after. I don't know.
What?
Or maybe take a select clip of there and upload it onto a porn site.
Yeah.
I've heard of that.
Good idea.
The bathroom scene in Isleen. Yeah, someone's looking to just have some fun, and then they're just like, wait, what?
Or what's the one like that show? I forget what it's called. You know, where when somebody gets shot or something, there's that site that they upload stuff to. You don't know this? Yeah, am I the only one that gets sent these fucked up links? It's like YouTube, but they show like unedited, uncensored stuff.
Oh, I don't know. I
probably
have heard of it.
School, but...
You could put a clip on that too.
Yeah.
Just
free publicity. Yeah, try to go viral. People use TikTok now. It's a big one. TikTok.
Yeah. I feel like, does anyone get anything out of TikTok? I know in America you can monetize it. In Ireland you can't get paid for it.
Hmm.
So like, I
Oh,
just see it as a huge waste of time here.
I'm using
oh,
TikTok to promote shorts from this channel, and when I compare to Instagram, I can see TikTok delivers much more than Instagram. Like,
Oh,
That's true, but I'm always 100% suspect about who are these people that are actually watching the videos. Like, because it's so much more on TikTok. I feel like it's inflated. You
oh,
know?
yeah, I
I
think
wonder.
it's just like before. I remember Facebook before, like 2011. I had a page. Whatever I used to write there, like I had like a lot of people watching. Like in one day, over 3,000 people watching it, and
Wow.
now it doesn't deliver to anybody anymore.
Yeah.
Even this
Unless you
page has,
pay.
yeah, unless you pay. Like it doesn't matter how many people you have following, they follow your channel, or if you don't promote, they Facebook doesn't deliver to 100%. Like if you have 10,000 people following you, if you post something, it's not gonna go to every single person. It's
Right.
gonna
And
go to like 3% of what you
e-
have.
e- even Instagram, I noticed in the last couple months, it's got a lot worse.
Yeah, they're pushing you to pay. That's what the companies do. Make you pay all the time.
But
Right.
I think there definitely is. Maybe there's TikTok, but there's got to be something coming. I feel it feels like, it feels like Instagram and, well, Facebook's, pretty much dead, and
Yeah.
yeah.
then Instagram feels like it's on its last legs. Like Twitter's fucked now.
Yeah. Twitter's been done now.
Not Twitter. Come on, X.
X. Sorry. Yeah. X.
It's
It's so
crazy.
stupid. Like, why? I don't get it. Why the hell would you change the name? Why buy something and then change the name? It makes no sense.
Yeah, I just want
Why
to.
buy it? Like, why not just start X in the first place?
And it's
Right.
funny because if you go to Twitter, it goes to. They still keep the name Twitter,
Yeah,
but
Right.
they,
Right.
you know, and there's
makes
no
no
connection.
sense.
Twitter, there's no X in Twitter.
Right. Yeah.
Where's this X coming from? Maybe from his company, like X Space or whatever it is.
I pretty much stopped going on Twitter or X or whatever, because anytime I go on now, who I see in my feed is people I don't follow. They don't follow me. I'm like, what the fuck is this? That's what was cool about Twitter. You only see who you follow. And then now it's like pushing people that
Right. Right.
no clue who they're.
Yeah,
So.
I've always
still like those like if as a creative people like I don't agree 100%, but we have to be there. Like if you have something to show, if you're an artist, you know, that's you can show your work some other ways, but it's important to be there. Like even if you know that doesn't work, but you know,
yeah, yeah. It's definitely one of those things that like I'm not good. I'll be like, oh, I haven't checked Instagram for like 2 days. Like like it's been days. Like I know like or it's been a week. And you're like shit. Like I need to be better about that. Like
it's
Yeah.
like it's like a sun. It's like a plant. You have to water every day. You know, do
totally.
something every
Yeah.
day. That's the
I
way.
kill every fucking plant I get. I should let you know that.
I don't know.
Yeah. That was a good thing what you said. I had a professor in college that talked about a similar thing. That was basically he would say, "Do you have Facebook? Do you have Instagram? Do you have Twitter?" And there would be kids in the class that would be like, "No, I'm not really into that. Like, I just like making stuff. I don't really post about it or advertise like that." And then he's like, "Then you don't exist in the modern world of art." And he was like, "It sucks. You don't want to do it." He's like, "But you have to." And I still am working on it because I don't post every day. I should. I should absolutely be promoting the other stuff that I work on
Same
outside.
time as well. If you
Yeah,
post at the
exactly.
same time, it's
Exactly.
helps
And
your
you
algorithm.
need to start doing
Yeah.
that.
But the good thing is, if you have to spend money to advertise your work, use this in your favor. Like, you know how digital media works. So let's say, better, I would say nowadays, if I have a project, I wouldn't spend money printing or doing something else. I would just promote, because you can be very specific finding your audience. You
Right.
can very uh, you can
Right.
filter, like, okay, I want this type of people, uh, people who likes this type of movies, and they are connected to this type. So there's like a filter. You can filter and be very specific to get your audience. So that's the good side. If you know how to use it, you can get a lot of people.
Could I disagree with you for a second, Wagner?
Sure, you can.
I think because you live in LA, so I think for you making some physical like stickers or something and put them in coffee shops or something would be a better form of advertising than paying for social media for
That's a good point.
How about both?
Yeah, or
Yeah.
both.
yeah,
You can do
both.
a combo.
If you have
Yeah,
the money,
I
do the
do
balance.
agree. Because I do
I
agree.
just I just feel like for Instagram and Facebook, the when you pay, you don't get it's not worth it.
Yeah, I mean, let me see something.
Well, we also know some like indie people. Sorry, we live near a fire station, so you might hear that.
There you go. Go put a sticker on the fire engine. And
Yeah.
start a bunch of fires, so they'll be going to the places, and then they'll see your sticker. No, don't really. That was a joke.
He's like, I'm so sorry, I lost my train of thought. Oh, we know other indie filmmakers that go to like coffee shops or Amoeba and try to sell their movies that way to like
Oh yeah.
cool stuff. So we're gonna try that.
Definitely.
And you go to conventions as well, right?
Yeah, we're gonna try to go to more, especially like in the LA area, just because it's a little more feasible to do that, getting a table somewhere around here than to always go out of state to other conventions. While that would be fun, it's definitely more costly, and you're not guaranteed to break even or make a profit. There's no guarantee. So, but yeah, we did a sale. We've done a couple sales on our website in the past where we've done paid ads on Facebook.
Hmm.
They
How
were
was
not
it?
they were not for total waste. We mostly advertised at specific cities in the States, and like you said, we specified to horror movies, independent movies. One of the other tags was Halloween, things like that.
Oh.
And we did decent. We made sales for sure. It wasn't like, oh my god, we also didn't spend a ton on the marketing.
You see, Bip?
We only spent.
How long ago was it?
This was last year, though. This was
Last
about a
year.
year from
Okay.
now.
But that I do feel actually, as far as like subcultures or whatever, the horror film fans spend more money than a lot of different people.
Definitely.
And a lot of people, horror movie fans, they are nerds and they are computer guys. They are on social media, so that's a target.
That's true.
Yeah, there's like the huge different pockets of like physical media. Even obviously, you guys know in those too. So we've been trying to. We just have to do better about it.
More consistent.
More
too.
more consistent. Definitely. But yeah, I think we just kind of as soon as we wrapped or we had the premiere, we started filming a short. So this past month we've been pretty bad about promoting Isleen because of that. Just because we just went straight into
Did you finish a new short or are you done?
Yeah, we finished it last weekend.
Yeah, we finished production last weekend. Now it's the edit and all that fun stuff.
And is this like a standalone short, or is it something you're going to use to try to get another project off the ground?
It actually, so a bunch of filmmakers that we've worked with, it was created by Randy Van Dyke, who helped us do the DCP, and he's helped us a lot in the past. And it's called Party of Darkness. It's an anthology, and then
oh, cool.
there's a bunch of different, like Alan Maxon and Justin Armeo, who did Xanadu, which we also worked on, Xanadu Hellfire, and then and then Andy. Yeah, just a bunch of different.
Justin's the magic man in Isleen. He plays that character.
So just
But yeah, it was a lot of friends that we've gotten to work with.
Mm-hmm. And there's only 2 more film days or 2 more days to shoot the anthology, and then it's just like piecing it together. But yeah, we got to film that, and it was very cool because we learned a lot from Isleen, and it was like pretty much a year later too.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, I love horror anthologies. They're great.
Yeah, they're fun. They're definitely a good time.
One day we want to do a vegan horror anthology.
Yeah.
So,
Oh yeah, we're all vegan here, aren't we?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we haven't thought about that.
It's a safe space for vegans.
You guys would have to be involved for sure if we could do that one of these days.
It'd be cool. There are a lot of vegan horror makers, like
Yeah.
even like big ones,
Yeah, definitely.
Well, Rob Zombie's probably the biggest,
Right.
Yeah, and,
or Mick Garris as well. Mick Garris.
Yeah, Mick Garris, definitely.
There's some guy who had a movie that came out during lockdown. I forget what his name is. English guy. I think he has like an Irish name though.
I think I know.
Rob something. Rob Savage, maybe.
I think that is the
name.
name.
Right?
Is it Ben? Is it Rob Savage or Ben Savage?
Oh, Ben Savage is from Boy Meets World.
Yeah, Ben Savage. Sorry.
Rob.
Right,
Rob Savage. Yeah.
That's cool.
Wasn't he running for? And he's running for a politician out there, wasn't he? Ben Savage.
Oh yeah, I did.
That's funny. God.
He was running for office.
Tim Heidecker, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. Well, unfortunately, like there's a bunch of pretty nasty stories that came out about Fred fairly recently.
Oh, I thought I heard some of that too.
Hmm.
Yeah, Fred Savage. Yeah. Shame.
Did you guys move to LA because the scene for filmmakers, or is the best option in the US, like for filmmakers, or it's just because everyone goes to Los Angeles, but I never knew like what's the story, why. So is that really the best place for filmmakers?
It's definitely one of the spots. I feel like.
Well, we also came out here because we wanted to learn. Like you had school, and like I did like student films and stuff, but we wanted to find people that were in the industry and learn too.
Yeah, like
so
I was.
Personally.
Yeah, like we were just getting out of school basically, and I had a professor that knew someone out here for me to meet to try to start learning from, and same thing happened kind of with her with an effects shop, and so then that way we both kind of had
What FX shop was it?
It's called Alex in Wonderland. It's like a family owned. It's a husband and wife, and they do special effects and like wardrobe.
Cool.
So I got to learn kind of like a lot of those.
Yeah, you're very good at practical effects. Is that where you learned it all, or have you been studying for a long time?
I was at that shop for like 3 years. So I learned a lot there, but definitely just working on set too, and with like just working with other makeup artists and working on set. And then I try to like keep up with classes, and like Stan Winston has some good online stuff if you want to keep up with special effects, but it's definitely a lot more.
He did the dogs in the thing, didn't he?
What?
Stan Winston.
Oh yeah. Sorry.
Bob Bottin did like the main alien stuff, but I'm pretty sure Stan Winston did the dogs.
That's awesome. Yeah, Stan Winston, he did some amazing stuff.
Yeah, that's cool. He's one of the top for sure.
Definitely.
Pumpkinhead.
Yeah, Pumpkinhead, absolutely.
Yeah,
Jurassic Park, of course.
And their online classes, not to be too much of an ad for Stan Winston, but they get a lot of really talented like people, and it's everything from like running the business to like digital effects and practical and stuff. So I was like, it's really a cool intro. But yeah, I mostly learned. Yeah, that shop was I learned a lot there. That's for sure.
That's
Is
cool.
that okay? Is that okay to share your Instagram in this page? Just to you guys can comment some of the pictures, and is that okay?
Definitely.
Oh yeah, thank you.
It's like yeah, you can see pictures and then you guys can comment. I think it'll be
Definitely.
cool.
Thank you. Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you. Appreciate that.
Let's see. All right. Can you see?
Yeah.
All right. Cool. Let me see.
I'll put up the pictures from the Isleen Pines premiere. Sean Whalen came to your premiere, didn't he?
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I love The People Under the Stairs. That's one of the best horror movies ever made.
Sean.
Sean's awesome.
Yeah, Sean's really awesome. Matt's helping with post sound on his movie, but I did the hair and makeup for his. He directed and wrote a movie called Crust, and it's tons of cool practical and puppets and stuff. So another recommendation when that comes out potentially. Yeah. But yeah, that was cool that he went. We got like a really good turnout with a lot of cool other filmmakers. But yeah, sorry, I'll let you talk. And then the poster, if you want me to talk about.
Oh yeah, the poster here. So this is technically our official poster for Isleen Pines, and it's a sort of like an old school comic book cover that was made by. What was it made by? No, it's like the whole screen changed on me real quick. Sorry. Yeah, so it was made by Jake Sabin, a good friend of mine from Chicago, very talented artist, illustrator. Jake, he's done other art for some of our stuff too before, like he did some stuff for obviously like Shadow March that we talked about that we still have to also release. But he's done for Isleen Pines as well. There was a little nod to Shadow Marsh, and he did the artwork for that of Mayor Myers. But that comic book cover is really fun because it's kind of like that old vibe of like when you look at a comic cover and it's like this is sort of in the movie, but it's not. But it's kind of.
And he like really cared about the details. He asked him questions about pictures for the weapons that we used and stuff too. So that was
a lot of detail.
Yeah, it's very cool. If you like, zoom in.
Yeah, he nailed it all. There's a lot of just like the weapons from all those weapons, like you said, to the costumes because he wanted all the reference photos he could get. Mm-hmm. And so we had those posters at the premiere, and Jake also was able to come out to the premiere, so that was really cool to have the artists with their art there. It was awesome.
Definitely inspired us for like if we do a sequel with a comic book, we would love to do that.
Mm-hmm.
But
definitely. Hey.
I just got his email.
We lost internet.
Oh, that's okay.
Thanks for staying here.
Oh, it's all good. We just kind of kept talking to try to see.
You're talking shit about us, weren't you?
No.
What type of unprofessional production is this, where the host drops off the screen?
No.
Can you close the door, Bip, please?
Oh, sorry.
No problem. The good thing is it's not live, so I can do some edition, and I will probably cut this part because.
Oh
yeah. No worries. No worries.
Yeah.
So let's never speak of it again.
Well, we get our internet here.
Oh yeah, internet and power here.
Yeah.
Do you have rolling blackouts there?
They do happen sometimes.
Yeah, they just
Seriously.
turn off the power, and then we get a notification an hour after the power's out.
What's that Jesus shirt you got on?
What's that?
Oh,
Do you have Jesus on your shirt?
Oh yeah, oops. It's a Bad Religion shirt. That band.
Oh, Bad Religion. Oh, cool.
Jesus holding the AK-47.
Oh, nice. That fucking Jesus. That's such a strange story, isn't it?
What
I don't get this.
Oh,
I don't
Jesus.
get it. It's a strange story. Like, the guy could turn water into wine, right? But he was captured by the Romans and murdered by the Romans, right? But, like, couldn't he? Humans are 60% water. So why didn't he just turn, like, the water part of the Romans into wine? They would have died instantly.
I think you have a horror movie that you need to make.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, there's something there.
There's something there. I don't.
Yeah, I think the whole.
Controversial, but.
Yeah, I was. I've never.
I actually do have a movie I started writing. I think I wrote about a third of it actually. It's basically the story of Jesus, but like if he was set in modern day. But this is like, I wrote it as somebody who was not raised with any religion. I've learned religion through like Simpsons and things like that. But like I have, we live in this Judeo-Christian society, so I've learned so much fucking Christian bullshit. And I was raised third generation atheist. So it's so strange that, the brainwashing in our culture of Christianity, because I know so much stories of the Bible, even though I wasn't raised with any religion.
Definitely. Yeah, I mean, down to like, we were talking down to in America, it's even on the money, it's printed on the money. Definitely it's ingrained in everything. Literally.
Yeah, we both grew up with pretty religious. So that's interesting though to have like that perspective too. So.
Oh yeah, it's just crazy. Like I've studied all sorts of mythology, and it's crazy to me that so many people buy into, like, actually believe in the fucking Bible, which is like, there's better mythologies out there, by the way. Like, why would they stick with this stupid Jesus bullshit? Like, virgin birth, it makes no sense.
And it's been
okay. Let's get this straight, right? Mary was definitely raped. Like, how could you be this omnipotent being that created this little fucking thing and say it's consensual? Like, if God was real, he raped Mary. And, like, he raped his fucking science project, right? Because he created Earth. And then there was these kids living on there. And they inbred for 1,000 years, Adam and Eve and their children, they all inbred. And then, like, after 1,000 years, there was this hot chick, Mary, this, like, little hot chick that was so hot that God's like, damn, I'm going to fuck that.
Oh, God.
That's great.
Well,
it's a bizarre story. Like, what the fuck? This is supposed to be the cornerstone of all, like, Europe, really, and America. This crazy folktale that's obviously bullshit, and people take it literally. It's so crazy.
So I was just saying, it's taken so literal that it's when you, I don't know, yeah. When people take the things so literal in there, it's I feel like almost misinterpreted. In a way.
Definitely, what I love in America is these crazy Protestants that have the King James Bible and they take that literally, which is a fucking translation of much older text.
That's what I was saying. Was everything's just translations. Over all this time, it's a game of telephone, literally.
Yes. And then you get these fuckers protesting the Westboro Baptist Church because they have this fucking crazy ass Leviticus line that says being gay is wrong. Have you ever read Leviticus?
No.
That's actually the only part of the Bible I have read. and it is way more fucked up than any Stephen King book. I can tell you that, and I'm being 100% honest because this is the one book of the Bible that has the anti-gay stuff that these anti-gay people quote, right? A man shall not lie with another man. In this same Leviticus, it says if your daughter disobeys you, you're allowed to sell her into slavery. And it also says in Leviticus, if your neighbors worship a different god, it's okay to kill them, right? This is Leviticus. And Leviticus is in Christianity, Judaism, and the Muslim religion. All three of those crazy religions actually have Leviticus, and this is a cornerstone. And how can you have this insane book that's it's fucked up? Like it's talking about it's okay to kill and murder and shit, That's crazy.
What people say against that, like people who really believes in God, when they say those parts of Bible that has those things, they always say like, "Oh, this is your interpretation. That's not what it means," But they always say that when it's when there's something in the Bible that sounds really bad thing, they say, "Oh, you just don't understand what it means." But but sometimes when it's obvious and it's a good thing, it's that you don't need to think much about it. But when it's a bad thing, they say, "Oh, it's just because you're not understanding the real meaning of this." There's always an excuse.
Always.
I find that most people that are like belligerently angry about defending the Bible and those taking it literally, often those people obviously haven't ever read the Bible. They like heard it from their preacher or their priest or whatever.
Yeah, I'm not going to specifically call out like family members, but definitely have those family members that are like, I've read the Bible so many times and stuff, and it's like I haven't because I'm just not gonna read it 8 times like you. I don't know. It's weird some of the stuff because it's like, yeah, you can like read something and just like not interpret it at all, like how I don't know. Yeah, with religion and stuff. That's another. I mean, well, we also came out to California too, just to get out of that. Indiana's very red state, very conservative.
Axl Rose is from there, right?
Is that true?
Yeah, James Dean.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Axl Rose. Ooh.
Oh, yeah. Bip, we do some Guns N' Roses cover in AP Banjo.
Yes. Banjo, What in the Jungle.
Oh,
well,
yeah.
okay, what is that album?
Banjo.
Is that the name of that album?
Yeah, I like that. That's better.
What is it?
Well, you say welcome to the Banjo?
Welcome to the Banjo.
Yeah.
Did you watch? Okay, Wagner, as you people know by now, Isleen Pines movie, which is on the screen. Wagner and I, in our band 8-Bit Banjo, contributed the song "The Boys of the Hill" to the soundtrack of Isleen Pines. And then I've been looking at that Chat GBT because it's just so fucking crazy. So I put in the lyrics of "Boys to the Hill," and I said, "Chat GBT, please make me a Weird Al parody of this song." That's also like pro veganism, and then they made, what was it, the Boys of the Tofu?
Yeah, it actually had some rhymes in there that I was like, okay, all right, like dang, that was funny.
Nice, guys. Is there something you guys would like to share related to the movie, news, or at the moment?
Yeah, well, pretty much that we want to have physical releases out probably more by January. We just have a
There's a pre-order for it right now. on our Three Keys Media Store Envy website. But other than that, like, yeah, we're just trying to get all of those like DVD, Blu-ray files all sorted so we can get the proof copies to test, and then start getting out all of the hard copies and posters. And we're also
have you sent everything to be duplicated already?
No, we're still kind of getting all of the bonus features and everything figured out and like kind of situated.
Yeah, we haven't done like a menu type.
Yeah, and then we'll have custom menus that I'll be working on, and that, you know, we will kind of go through all of that, subtitles, everything, and then yeah,
Something cool in the future, action figure of the characters.
Oh,
that would be fun.
yeah,
That would be awesome.
Have you looked into that? Do you know anyone with a 3D printer?
Well, we know, like, we have seen, I can't think of the names at the top of my head, but there are people that make action figures for like lower budget stuff. And I know like Full Moon's kind of done that aspect too. So
That's
there
cool.
are definitely, yeah, I was like, one time, yeah, there has been like stuff in the past, but we haven't looked into it. It was just pretty much after we put out the poster, I think Nahia might have said something about that, and I was like, oh, that's cute.
Right.
Yeah,
but we
did you use the things you've learned from Stan Winston to make the puppet on Isleen Pines?
So there's definitely, because it was supposed to be more, we wanted to go more like 60s, like sci-fi alien. That's kind of why it's like more, the colors are brighter and everything. But I definitely did like use some aspects, but again, with the time limit, I wanted to have more movement with the jaws. And it just would be, it just would be too much in a little bit amount of time. And I don't have, at the time, I didn't have access to like my own foam latex like oven. There's just like some stuff that like budgetary wise that I was like, it would be cool to do it the Stan Winston way, but I probably did it more like the do-it-yourself, like dirty and cheap Stan Winston ways.
Well, it looks very good.
Thank
you. You know,
Very good.
I was very impressed. Like the lighting on the film and everything is, and the effects, and of course the sound design. Matt does excellent sound design because it's very, you know, I watch a lot of like lower budget horror, and a lot of the problem most of the time is cheap sound design. You know, because so much. I think the actual ratio they say for sound to film quality is 60-40. It's 60%. It's actually more important to have good audio on a film than good footage,
right,
camera footage.
No, I appreciate that. Thank you.
Especially with like effects, like it definitely seen the movie before sound, and then sound.
Oh,
it,
like, definitely.
Yeah, Friends.
I just rewatched Uncut Gems last night, which is a great film with an amazing soundtrack. But I was just kept thinking, like, it would be fun to re-edit that with like a Happy Gilmore style soundtrack, because you could totally turn it into a comedy if you re-edit it with the sound, you know?
Right.
Because that's how sound design is so important for that reason. Like you can do so much with the music, with the sound effects.
That's awesome.
Did you do all the Foley on that as well, Isleen Pines?
I did, yeah. It was a lot of, so like going back to when we first moved out here, I was at Virtual Mix for about a year doing Foley editorial and assisting and engineering. And so through that opportunity and job, I was able to kind of record and do a lot of Foley work. In about a year's time, did a little bit on like low budget movies. And the guy that was teaching me and training me, this was right after school, was Patrick Girardi, who's done some work for David Lynch.
Oh, amazing! Which film do you know?
He was on Mulholland Drive. He was one of the dialogue But he's
I love
he's a
Mulholland
good-
Drive.
He's a
Such a
great,
good film.
he's a great designer too. He doesn't just do dialogue; he does design work, and he's a very, very talented sound designer. And he taught me a lot of the Foley that I really got to learn when I left school. And so after that sort of, we ended, and he was doing more work for Netflix. I started doing more indie work, and then I got to kind of really like do that on indies, is start learning like how to cover everything from the ground up in a mix and in a design. And so yeah, and most of the time with no money and no time. So that with Isleen was just kind of a fun, like, cool, I'll get to like Shadow Marsh. I feel like I've gotten a little, getting to learn more things each time. So now with panning and getting to do more surround design and work, I feel like those mixes are a lot more fun now. Like Isleen's mix is definitely very immersive. If you can hear it in a 5.1 space, it's really fun. There's a lot happening in the rear surround speakers and panning in general that happens with the film. So
that's amazing. That would be so cool. You guys should come over here and show it.
Well, we could
There's a good cinema here.
Now that you guys were talking about that, we should really try to plan something, because all it really takes is us getting you a drive with the DCP file on it for theatrical screening, and then you guys could realistically sort of be the representatives of the film,
Or we could take a trip.
or we could take a trip to Ireland and meet you guys up. And
That'd be cool.
that would be
be
super
cool.
cool.
Promoting in Ireland.
That would be fun. And I mean, again, it's your guys' music. It could be a party, and you guys could play at the party,
And I'm sure probably Matt said like privately, but we've gotten a lot of compliments on like the song at the end. They're like, yeah, and then the credit song. It's
I would buy the
that's
soundtrack
good.
of the movie.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that'd be
sure.
cool. Vinyl release.
Well,
we talked about it. Yeah,
we
because
need to talk to all of you guys about maybe having the bands kind of come together,
Hey.
so that it could be something that you guys can all get some money from, or you know what I mean?
like if we we talked about figuring out a way that you guys can, but that was something that we're like, man, we should have talked about it before we got the songs. So
Yeah, cool. Put it on there.
But if like,
That's
but if
cool.
you guys, but if like, like you guys, and there's Gina Georgette and the Monarchs, and there's obviously Shell Shag, and there's Battering Ham, and there's all these other bands that if you guys all sort of had a rights thing with the vinyl, that way you guys all sell them on your own stores, and you guys could all be making the money on the music. I think that
That would be cool. That Battering Ham is another on cinema fan, isn't it?
Yep, Chad Crowder. That song is.
What's his name?
Chad Crowder.
Oh, how do you Crowder?
Yeah.
What is it?
I think it's Crowder. Yeah, Chad Crowder. I don't want to be wrong. You're gonna edit this, right? Sorry.
Well,
yeah, Chad Crowder. Crowder. Yeah.
Crowder.
Cool. Yeah, it's a great soundtrack.
Nice.
It really is. You guys all fit this amazing.
It's a good idea.
And I think if
It
we
was
could
fun.
do that, where you guys would all be making the money on a soundtrack, because that's really, again, you guys all came together to make this soundtrack. I think it would be really cool if we could.
As our thank you to and just to support.
Because there is like,
for sure.
The band Shell Shag, that they have a song that's the one right before yours in the movie, and they have another song earlier in the film. They also have like their own label, and I know that they've done vinyl pressings and stuff. So maybe again,
cool. Where are they located?
They're over on the East Coast.
Yeah, Brooklyn.
Brooklyn.
New Jersey, I thought. Actually.
Brooklyn.
Right next to. I think they're right next to New York. I think they're in New Jersey, or that they were once in Brooklyn. Like I know they're in that area.
Brooklyn seems like there's a lot of cool art stuff happening.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah, they were one of those bands that we were like listening to when we were writing and stuff. So getting them like involved was really cool, because we were like, you like have a playlist, when you do everything, right? So it was just cool, like how it came together. Like the music was even better than like what we like imagined.
Really?
Like,
yeah,
like everything. Yeah, it was cool. And then after we talked to more people, more of the musicians and stuff, because also like my My Sister has a song in it, which is like
Okay.
the only hip hop song kind of throughout. But that was like kind of the cool thing, is that we got so much of variety, and we want to do all of our projects. We want to have some relationship with music, because that's like our biggest influence, I feel like, with music. So,
I definitely feel the idle hands influence on the lighting for one thing. Did you tell your cinematographer to look at idle hands? Who is the cinematographer? It was Matt Leal, was it?
Yep.
Mhm.
Or no?
Yeah, it was
Okay.
Matt. He's really good. Yeah, he understood a lot of what Alexys wanted, so and what I wanted too. I mean, obviously it's collaborative, but there was a lot of that talk ahead about having the colors and the way the colors were utilized at the locations and all of that. So
yeah, we definitely, like, from Isleen, and then just like more recently on the short, we definitely are figuring out. That's the other thing, is like we try to obviously learn each project and stuff, so we're still like figuring out our like styles and like dynamics, and that's why we're also just trying to get people that are passionate involved in it too. Just because we always say, like, if there's something weird or experimental or something you want to try, like, our movies are kind of it.
good time to try it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it's the film industry now. You know, it's not the best industry to go into if you want to make money. So one good thing about that is, like, I think a lot of the people that are sticking around are artists, like what I am, I know, and what you seem to be. Like, you're interested in actually making something, having your voice heard, shown as in a film, which is nice because I don't, I know in LA especially, you'd see more on like the trade side of filmmaking. There's people that are like generational behind the scenes, and like they don't seem to have any passion for film. And I don't know why anybody works in film that doesn't love film,
Yeah, and that's like a big thing with our teams, that we just, like I was saying, like everyone involved, but like our teams, we try to put together people that understand low budget, but also like just want to have fun, but also know that we have to get like 12 pages done in a day or something, or not 12, but
we've been trying to lower that to
Yeah, we
like
have
7 or
yeah,
so.
yeah.
How many per day were you shooting on Isleen?
Oh yeah, Isleen wasn't that much. Sorry,
Isleen
I
was like
exaggerating.
6 a day. Isleen was like 6 a
Which
day.
is still a lot.
Yeah, but for us, compared to other ones, man, that's
why I was like, there's
way better.
Yeah.
Shadow Marsh, we had a couple 10, 11 days. Composure, which is actually being retitled to Hacked 2, because it is a sequel to Hacked. That movie, we had a couple like 10-page days as well. This one, though, we were really firm about.
I think the most was like 8.
Yeah, the most we did on Isleen was an 8-page day. And we still either finished on time or barely over. We only had one day where we went over.
Oh, that's
Most
good.
days we finished early.
Yeah, but it wasn't
that's
like
great.
2 days we went over. I correct myself.
Yeah, it was like, it wasn't like 16-hour days though. It wasn't like that.
Yeah,
it was more like an hour.
Yeah.
It is funny too, because for filmmaking, if you're like, it's kind of better to. I think it's better to do less, because you're going to end up burning people out, when you do more anyways. So it might be counterproductive spending extra time, that's just actually tiring people out.
Seriously.
And yeah, that's very true. That's why we try to like not have too long of days too. If we can do like 10 hours or whatever, 11.
Yeah, one of the for the short film we just did, one of the days of that was 10 hours instead of 12. So
that was
You could see why Clint Eastwood is now in his 90s and he's still directing, because he's notorious for doing like 1 or 2 takes and then just move on.
Yeah, I mean, but that's the other thing though about indie filmmaking is like if you are trying to get a lot done or have a lot of setups in a day, you really don't have time to do 5+ takes a scene,
Yeah.
or a shot or a setup. You really are only getting 3-ish.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Did you? How much rehearsal did you guys have?
Our actors were great. We did one table read before, a couple weeks out of production, maybe a week out of production.
Mhm.
And then production itself, the actors showed up. They knew that while they were waiting for setups after blocking and stuff, we would do a quick little block. Matt and his team would start setting up lights. Everybody would go to makeup or costume wardrobe. And then they would just be either running their lines themselves. So by the time they came back to camera, it would just be us doing little tweaks. But like, again, our main cast in the house, they were just like proactive and they would just be practicing. Like if they knew there was downtime, you didn't even need to tell them, hey, can you guys go run lines for 5-10 minutes? They would just be doing
They
it.
were in the makeup chairs, like running lines between each other.
The whole fight, the two fights between the alien and the group of friends, both in the middle of the movie and at the end of the movie, there was a little bit of action, but we didn't have a stunt coordinator. But our actors, they both were just like, they showed up when we asked them to way early in the day before it was even dark out. And we do have some video of it too, of them just basically practicing all of the action of how they're going to do all this, how they're going to fall, how they're going to this and that. And it was made our jobs way easier because we were able to just show up and we were there the whole time with them, but we were able to kind of just watch what they were doing, collaborate on, what could be tweaked or fixed for camera. Matt was a big part of that too, about how the camera's movement would be and, what would happen. They would literally just run it all day. And then I'm going to throw this thing at your arm, at your staff, and I'm going to try to wrap it up with the light, and then I'm going to yank it because Darren really wanted to get all of those motions down. And so by the time we were filming it at night, they were all just ready to go.
Yeah.
And ready to do it.
And we, the house that we filmed in was like a living house, so we couldn't do overnight. So it was pretty much, by like 10, we had to pretty much be cleared out and stuff too.
What about for the crew? Is it people you all have worked with before?
Yeah, that it was kind of just a combination. Isleen was such a small team too.
Pretty small team, yeah.
Like I had I worked before just doing makeup full time. I worked retail, so like one of my friends that I worked with there, who also works in film, he helped us and he's been helping us since the beginning. So, and then
I mean, realistically, our biggest day on
with.
set was about 30 people, most of which we had worked with before. A few were new faces technically, but they're totally part of it now if they ever want to come back, obviously. Like so that's what's fun is like this short that we just did as well had a lot of carryover from Isleen of people we met or the other jobs that she just worked on over the summer of like, hey, we met this, her and Matt Liao worked on Sean Whalen's movie Crust on set, bunch of overnights. They met some really cool lighting people on that one. They brought them on to our short we just did. So then it's like, hopefully in the future, we'll keep them coming back, working with them. And,
just seeing what works and some people just don't want to do low budget too. They think they would, or or maybe it's just I get it. It's not for everyone. So just kind of finding that right team. But
you guys got to work with Malachi next.
Yeah. We got to work with you guys next. You got to get. We got this one that it's not our next film, but it's coming up. That we were talking about writing. That we're gonna really start writing. It would be cool to have you guys actually in it if we can get you guys here because there's bands in the movie and stuff. So I know we're speaking early, but if we could figure that out, we should really figure that out.
That's why we're.
Is that for in a year's time, or when is that?
I would say a year or more. Even.
Yeah, it's probably a couple.
Probably maybe even a year or 2 years out. But pre-production though would start once the script is done.
Yeah, we kind of want to get a feel. We've been talking to it would be a combination of crew that we've worked with and actors and stuff because it would have to be a blend of we would love to have like real like bands, and then
Yeah,
obviously,
like again. Sorry.
That'd be awesome. You want to go, Wagner?
Let's go. I'm ready.
Yeah. Just
Yeah, it'd be
get
cool. We could get some gigs going out there. Too.
Yeah, because like going off what she said, it's sort of like that story is about characters that are also musicians. So like if we can get real people that are artists and they are musicians, and you know, it's like I think that's more authentic and like
Awesome.
Definitely, that sounds cool.
Let's do it. Let's plan. Let's be in touch,
Yeah.
and then you know,
yeah,
I'm
because
gonna
we'll figure out something.
yeah,
I'm
because
starting to do stand-up comedy, so I'll go do that out there as well.
that'd be sick. Yeah, no, we should really plan. We can again start it by writing it. That way, you guys are in it from the beginning, and then we can really, you know, harness
That's
that,
cool.
and we'll finance it, and we can really budget and make sure that that's all accounted for.
Wagner can speak Portuguese if you have any stuff you want to write into Portuguese.
How many languages do you know?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Do you
I
know
just
multiple?
know just Portuguese. That's my. I'm originally from Brazil.
Very cool.
It's cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
We do want to have like different bands and stuff. There's this one band that's out here that I really love, or it's just Generation Suicida, and like all of their songs are just completely in Spanish and stuff. So we want
Cool.
to have like different. It's not just like obviously it's like punk, but it's like the different varieties and
Yeah, there's not just one thing that's punk. There's so many things, you know.
and
Yeah.
like no real like time frame. So it's going to be a
Mishmash
Yeah.
of, you know, 80s, 90s kind of vibes, and you know that
I
DIY
feel like
shows, like kind of thing.
It's cool.
Wagner and I have been going to a lot of punk shows, and in Ireland, anyways, it seems like it's a really good time for punk. But
That's
and
awesome.
I'm sure in America too. But then it's strange when I look on like the old like Epitaph or Fat Records or stuff, because they're putting out stuff that's like doesn't sound like punk, you know, stuff I
Yeah.
wouldn't label as punk.
It's definitely different now. Like speaking of Fat, they just put out the Co-Defendants album, and I was listening to that. And while I like it, it's definitely not what you would traditionally consider punk. It's much more like it's got like elements of hip hop in it. It's even got like weird sampling and stuff, you know, things that you wouldn't really peg for like punk music, but it still kind of has that theme and message of being anti-authority and a lot of like questioning everything and
Like Social Distortion. I never understood why people called them a punk band. I'm like, I like Social Distortion, but I would call them like a folk band or something like
yeah,
that.
they're definitely
Or
more
rockabilly.
Yeah,
yeah,
I think
rockabilly.
the bands that are on Fat Wreck, I think as long as Fat Mike like them, he doesn't care if it's punk rock or you know. That's
yeah.
okay. I like that.
You had a cool Fat Records shirt, right, in the video?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, if you
I remember
Cool.
seeing it and be like, oh, that's awesome, dude. Like, that's super
your
cool.
guys are welcome to use the Boys of the Hill music video if you want to put that on like the extras on the
We absolutely would if you're
That's
cool
awesome.
with that.
Thank
That's
Yeah.
amazing, dude. Yeah,
Nice.
that will definitely happen. Thank you.
So,
you.
do you're planning to come to Ireland to promote your movie
Dude,
whenever
that
you guys
would be-
can? I think that would
Yeah.
be cool. Like
Yeah.
count on us to do the connection. You know,
Appreciate
can-
that, really. Yeah, no, we would absolutely we will absolutely start like literally brainstorming because we've always wanted to go there, and to also have friends there would be even better reason, and then to again share all of our art would be the greatest. So
nice,
appreciate that. That's awesome.
nice. I will share all the links in the description of the video.
Appreciate
And
that.
also, I have a few friends in Brazil. Like Brazil is a big country, and they have a big community of independent movies as well. So it's
Cool.
a good spot to share.
Okay.
I will
Perfect.
do some research on something. If I find, I will share with you guys.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. That's awesome.
Thank
I
you.
worked with a very good Brazilian cinematographer before, Felipe Rosa. He shot a 8-bit banjo music video from before we were punk, back when we were synth pop.
Oh,
Oh, that's
cool.
Which song?
The Million Scattered Pieces.
Yeah, I
That's
love
cool.
that
Yeah,
one. I love that one. That's
That
a
was
good song
fun.
and video.
We do that. We still play it, but we do it like a punk version now.
Oh, dude, that's awesome. Do you got any? Do you have any videos of that or recordings of that one?
The
The
punk?
punk version of it.
No, not yet. But we just recorded a EP. We just
Oh,
recorded 5 songs, and the tracks. It's actually like 21 minutes. There's like a 7-minute song on there, but it's it's punk. Like I'm definitely punk attitude, but then some of the songs are kind of like rock and roll, and then
right.
one of the songs is like rockabilly. But there's definitely a political album. We have a vegan song on there called "The Social Norm." We got a
Nice.
song about called "White Girl." It's about like drug epidemic, really, like how fentanyl is killing fucking so many people.
Right.
Uh,
But
Shitty.
that's what.
Yeah, let's.
That's cool.
We are planning to do the Warped tour in America. Would be cool.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. It's a fun thing.
That'd be cool. I love the Warp Tour. I went to that twice.
Yeah. What years
Yeah,
did
I
you
did
go,
too.
Bib?
I think like 2000,
You probably went the good years then. Yeah, that was when it was killing.
2000, 2001, something like that.
Yeah, I feel like I started going probably right when it started dipping off a little, but I was like the later mid 2000s. I was around 07, I think might have been my first one, or 06 maybe. No,
Okay.
07 for sure. Not yet.
Yeah, I'm a few years older than you, so.
Till about 09 or so, and then
That was cool. I think Ice-T was playing one year. Like it was cool because it had like Ice-T, but Ice-T totally is like a punk, even though like Body Count's a punk band anyway.
right.
Well, that's what's like cool about that there's no like concrete. I mean, there's lots of arguments, but there's no like concrete sound or whatever.
Yeah, like definitely.
Are they coming back though? Because I think because of COVID, they had to shut down. Are they coming back? I don't know.
They did an end one where they were like, it's the final Warp Tour, and then they sort of revived it recently, I think, or I can't remember. But yeah, it's sort of one of those things that might come back or it might not. But
it was cool because it seemed to be independent, wasn't it? It was whoever put it on.
Yeah, Kevin Lyman or whatever was the main guy behind it. I knew they ended up getting Van's sponsorship, which obviously helped pay for everything. But
I mean, they'd have all sorts of different labels. It wasn't like
exactly
like usually a tour is one label.
Exactly, it was everybody. Yeah, I mean, it was. There was even like Rise Records, I'm sure, at some point was there.
PETA was always there.
PETA, everybody.
They were always there.
PETA?
Yeah, at least when I went,
cool.
they're always. But I was already I was vegetarian at that time, so I was like, just give me the free stuff.
Don't convince me. I'm already convinced.
Yeah, I'll take the stickers things.
That's cool.
Nice, guys. Let's finish. Let's do more. Like we don't need to talk about only movies. Like we have some similar taste for movies and music. We can talk about different things as well in the next episode.
Oh yeah,
we can do it again.
That'd be awesome.
Thank you so much for doing all of this.
Yeah, we really appreciate you guys taking the time. Not only to watch the movie, but to follow up by being interested enough to ask.
Yeah, it's great. I've seen it twice. I watched it twice now, and it got better the second time, which is a good sign, And it was good the first time. It wasn't bad, but I mean, a lot of times when I watch a movie the first time, you're just taking everything in, and you don't even get to enjoy it that much for me. So it's kind of like on repeated viewings, I enjoy things more often. If it's good. If it's bad, it's not.
No, but thank you guys for being part of it too. Obviously, like it really, like Alexys said, your song gets lots of compliments, and I think when it gets a wider release too, I hope it brings traffic to all the bands that are on the soundtrack, and hopefully, maybe between all the artists, we can figure something out where you guys can have a vinyl that is.
Yeah, we can think about it. Let's think about it. Yeah, for sure. And yeah, very happy to to have you guys here. Like it's like I'm very fan of independent movie as well. So it's and this very short, small channel, and feels like wow, I'm getting two filmmakers from the US, LA, baby.
Too nice.
It's cool, like the variety of interviews. I haven't watched like all of the podcast, but like it's cool that you have like all these different creators and it's interesting. I'll definitely.
I'm telling Wagner though, you need to call it something else for the English episodes because English people are like, or English speakers are lazy, and if they hear Portuguese, they're gonna be like, "Oh, that's a Portuguese podcast. I'm not gonna."
Oh yeah, no. Like, you know what? I started this podcast. The idea is just English. I don't want to. I want to focus only English, but I started as a learning process. Even the way I talk to you guys, like more I do it, more comfortable I feel.
Yeah.
And I know I'm just learning, so I know my goal is turn this podcast just English audience.
Well, it's cool to have that like variety too.
Yeah, no, it's definitely to have both is I feel like unique, and also it's hard to do that. Like again, like knowing a second language is very
it's a challenge.
Very difficult. Like that's why I have a lot of credit to you seriously for doing that. And like Alexis said, it's cool that you're not just like limited to one avenue. It's very like it's a cool topic of being open. Like on your podcast, you have a lot of different variety and avenues to go down.
Yeah, I saw like the vegan chef one.
Oh yeah, she was a lawyer in Brazil. She came to Ireland, and during pandemic, I don't know what happened. I mean, she tells what happens, but she just became vegan during pandemic. She wanted to make a change. Like I think she went through something deep, which made her to decide to be vegan, and then she gave up of her job as a lawyer and started to study nutrition, based nutrition, and now she has her own business.
Wow,
that's cool. Yeah, that's awesome.
Oh, she's good. I've eaten her. I've eaten the nice desserts she's made. They're good.
Oh wow.
Oh yeah,
She had a booth at the vegan gala where I had my book launch for Norse to the Future.
Oh yeah.
Cool.
Oh, thanks for putting Norse to the Future in the movie too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I remember that.
I'm glad you saw it. Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah, thanks for letting us, man.
It's such a and like the artwork on it is so cool too. It's like a little promotion, but it fits.
Oh, thank you.
Really well.
All right, guys. Thanks so much
again. Yeah, thank you again, guys. Really appreciate your time and being a part of the film and everything, guys.
Cool.
Nice talking to you, and good luck. And keep us posted on the project. It sounds like lots of fun.
Let's definitely stay in touch. We got a lot from Isleen to other things that we need to keep in touch about. So
thank you, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Take care.
Thanks so much.
Take it easy. Okay.